Hey there, welcome back to the table. So after my resounding defeat, I can't just walk away from this. I have it set up to play again. The only change to the setup, and it's not really a change, I'm just explaining it in case you have questions. I didn't bother putting some ships start here, some ships start there. It's all silly. You can move anywhere on the map you want. So I just put them all in one big mega stack here. I don't even have them sitting in Hawaii. I just know that these are the ships I get to use on the first turn. So the training phase is mostly over, so I don't have to explain the rules as much. And so hopefully that'll make it go a little quicker. And let's learn from our last lesson. I let Midway fall, and then Hawaii was too hard to take back. I think I got too aggressive in the beginning, and I need to make sure that Midway doesn't fall. I think that's really my largest lesson. I liked what I did with the industry, and I think I was on the right track there. It's just that as soon as I lost my supply lines, that all went to pot. I love the scouting idea. The person who actually suggested the scouting idea said he thinks that I did it too early, that maybe I should just keep that in my pocket and do it later. And he might be right. I actually thought we had a chance to take an early blow to Japan, and I may not be right about that. Because in 1942, they get up to a +10 die roll, as you can see there. This Midway target is a hot target for them, and you have to be prepared for it, because it really does ruin your day. So pretty ingenious DVG design there. I am quite impressed with it, because you sort of underestimate it whenever you first see it. And then whenever it happens, you're like, oh. Okay, so one final thing. Let's make sure our objectives are all squared up. This one's American. This one's American. This one's Japanese. Midway is American. Hawaii is American. And New Guinea is Japanese. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So let's turn the marker. January, February. Obviously there's nothing to produce yet, and we get 20 points. So for no matter what, I'm putting 8 points in here. So I'm just going to grab 8 points and put them in there. 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I have 12 points left. I could produce just a bunch of battalions, but since these only cost 1, I'm going to produce some troops. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 11 of my 20 points. I'm very happy with that. You need to get the ground troops out. There's no point in building any ships this turn, because everything's going to be delayed unless I build more than 2 ships. And with only 11 points left, I don't think I can. So let's get as many planes out as we can. So the single cost ones, there's 1, 2, and then let's just get the best ones we can. 3, 4. Five, 6. Okay, that's 6, 9, and 8 is 17. I have 3 points left. And we could save it for battle plan. I mean, why not? Battle plan may not be a bad idea. In the last game, I always chinced myself out of having extra points for battle plans. And that didn't turn out well for me, as you may have surmised. So I'm just thinking it through. Or we can put 3 points towards getting this infantry building upgraded so we can produce more than 3 infantry at a time. That's never a bad thing either. I really don't think it's wasted no matter what we do. I definitely don't think we need to scout this first turn. And remember, whatever you, I may not have explained this, but whatever you don't spend, you can save. So just because we save 3 points doesn't mean we're going to lose it at the end of our turn if we don't use them. Those 3 points can carry over into the next round. But what we could do with those 3 points, and I think what I did last time is I built one of our battleships just to get a ship on the board. It's not a bad idea. I'm not sure how excited I am about it. How much do I really need the battle plans at the moment? I don't think I do. I mean, I know the battle plans are nice. I get that. So my strategy is that 1942 shouldn't be that hard, even though I lost in 1942. So I can't underestimate it too much. But my strategy is I want to get this sheet built up. The quicker I build this sheet up, the more it's working for me instead of against me. Obviously, I can't do anything more with this. This is going as fast as it can go. So, you know, building a ship is not a bad idea, even though the production won't move, because I'll at least get it on the queue. And then that's 3 points I don't have to spend later on a ship. But I think what I would prefer to do here is I'm going to put 3 points towards the basic training so we can get more troops going at a time. 3 troops is not a lot. So that's what I'm going to do. And let's move over. As you can see, we're skipping scouting. So let's jump into movement. And all my ships are just in a pile here instead of across the board. But what I want to do is I want to situate. I got a battalion here in the West Coast, 2 of them. I don't need them there. So I'm going to send 1 to Alaska so I can free up these 2 planes. Okay, and I'm going to send 1 to Hawaii so I can free up this 25th Infantry, which is a superior infantry. The idea is I'm not even going to let them take Midway. So Hawaii shouldn't necessarily need to be defended. Now, this 3 infantry, we can send it to Midway, or we can send it to New Guinea to help out with that battle, because I am sympathetic to trying to help New Guinea out. And so much so that I'm willing to send some of my planes over there. But I need to hold Midway. So I'm going to send this to Midway, and it's going to be on a transport, of course. All of these are on transports, but this is the only one I'm going to bother putting on one. Midway currently has a fighter that has a 3-3 bomb ability. And I'm going to send over another fighter that has a 4-3 bomb ability. So these are versatile planes that can do both fighting and bombing, dogfighting and bombing. Since Midway only allows me to have 2 planes there, I felt that was the best move. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 planes, and all of them are going to New Guinea to help out with the battle there. So now I have 6 planes in New Guinea out of the 8 that are allowed. Now, I don't have any infantry to take the Gilbert Islands like we did last time, and I don't have an extra infantry to even land on New Guinea like last time. This is part of the strategy. I'm going to keep my submarines at Midway to help sink stuff. I have a cruiser, some destroyers. The destroyers are also staying at Midway. At least 2 of them are. And the 2 subs are. And then I'm getting out my cruisers here. Sorry for the hand, or the arm being in the way. We have a lot of cruisers. The 2 carriers are staying at Midway. So basically, we're going to protect Midway with the carriers, the destroyers, and the submarines. Now, I would love to attack Gilbert Islands. I can maybe kill that battalion. That would be great. But I don't have any troops to take it, so it's not necessarily a super target. But New Guinea is a big deal. So I am going to send troops to New Guinea. So I'm going to send 3 cruisers with an attack value of 4. And in fact, I'm going to send 4 cruisers with attack value of 4. You know what? I'm going to send 5 because we need to win that battle. It would be nice to take out those planes and not have to retake that island. And so then I have these 2 cruisers that aren't quite as good, and I'm leaving them on Midway because I want to have a sizable force at Midway. That's it. Yeah, I have other objectives. I'm not going to try to defend those. I think that was my lesson learned, is I'm going to go after one target, big, and then defend Midway, big. So that's what I'm going to do in this case. Okay, so with that said, let's do Japanese movement. So starting with the board, I know I did this for teaching purposes, but it actually is helpful to do this. And this one doesn't get to move either. I could have tried to help out Borneo. It wouldn't be bad to kick them off of Borneo. No, it's not worth diverting resources. Okay, so where do I have the least amount of troops? It would be here. So that one's first, and it probably was first last time too. I just don't remember. Here we go. 5 is a refit, so even is going to be the infantry. I rolled an odd, so this plane, this little piggy flies back home. All right, so, and then it goes up by 2. So that one's done. And then now we move to the Caroline Islands. I rolled a 3. That's going to be a hold. So this is going to move up by 4. And the Caroline Islands have Surface Fleet 1 and a battalion, and they're all staying. Okay. These guys aren't moving because they're in battle. So then we move to the Philippines. I rolled a 10, I add 2, it gives me a 12. They're moving south, 1 closer to Australia. It's going to be a battle fleet, an infantry, and 2 planes. Well, that makes Borneo a lot more exciting for them. So the fleet, 2 planes, and their infantry are all moving to Borneo. Okay. Then we're going to keep rolling for the rest of the Philippines. I rolled a 5, plus 2 is 7. They're going to refit. This moves up by 2. And a refit action sends 3 of them back to Japan. And we have 2 left. I rolled a 5, plus a 5 is 10. They're going to withdraw to go 1 closer to Japan. And plane's going to fly back to Okinawa. And they're all done. So now we're going to do East Asia. The withdrawal caused it to move up by 1. And that is a 7. Plus 5 is 12. So they're going to move closer to Australia. And it's 1 infantry, 2 planes. So they're moving to the Philippines with 1 infantry and just 1 plane because that's all they had. All right, keep rolling. A 4 plus a 5 is 9. They're going to withdraw closer to Japan, which since they're already in East Asia, that becomes a hold, so it moves up by 4. And so this guy and this stay. And we're going to do 1 more roll. A 4 plus a 10 is 14. They're going to a battle. And there's only 2 battles on the board, Borneo and New Guinea. New Guinea will be the odd number. I rolled odd. So the battleship fleet is going here. That's not good. And then the infantry that didn't stay behind is getting on a transport. So this all of a sudden got a lot trickier for us. All right, and now we go to Japan. That's a 3 plus 10 is 13. They're moving east. So carrier fleet, let's go in there. 9 plus 10 is 19, and there it is, Midway. Carrier Fleet 4 is coming to Midway. Okay, so then it subtracts 8. So 4, 8. Next is a 7 plus 2 is 9. And that becomes a hold, so it's going to go back up. Stays behind, and then the last one is a 4. Plus 5 is 9, which becomes a hold. So this goes up by 4. Okay, so we got everything going. We have 3 battles, one of them super boring, the other 2 quite interesting. I think we're going to win the Midway one. I really, really do. I think we're going to lose the Borneo one. I really, really do. And then the New Guinea one, I have no clue. I think we're losing that one. But it's going to be a close... It's going to depend on how the dice turn out. Let's do Borneo first. Okay, so the special rules is that they get to add a Japanese battalion to the foxholes, and if we've never held the island, they start with 2 fortification counters. I'm just going to resign. I have 1 itty-bitty little battalion. You know what, we still at least, let's see how many battle turns we're going to get. It's 7, so that's going to be 3 battle turns. Yeah, I'm resigning. I mean, I could take an artillery to get a guaranteed hit, but they have fortification counters, so I'm just going to kill my battalion. I'm not going to worry about it. Just for the game purposes, I don't even think I would damage them once. But in order to fulfill the rules, their infantry does land. Surface Fleet 2 has its own infantry, which are these 2 battalions. And then another battalion would have come from the bank because of the rules. So they have themselves a nice little stack of infantry here. So that's the way it's going to be. Not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and do the New Guinea one. And that one we'll do proper, because it's going to be a proper battle. So if the Japanese start with forces ashore, add 1 Japanese land-based aircraft from the reinforcement area. So I'm going to grab 1 for reinforcements. And it's going to go into the airfield. So they got the Takao Kukutai. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4 other planes. They have a very powerful infantry in the foxhole. And then they have 1 that's on the transport. And then there's Battleship Fleet 1, which is bringing 4 more onto the transport. And unfortunately, it's a battleship fleet, so I'm not going to be able to sink all these ships and get to that destroyer, or that transport. I mean, these ships are formidable, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4 for them. And one of them rolls a 5. These are some pretty powerful ships. So I brought some powerful ships of my own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's at least something. But it's not as powerful as them. And then I have some nice planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But no troops. And so I'm a little concerned. It's going to depend on how well my planes do. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they have so many infantry. I'm not going to be able to take out their ships and their infantry at the same time. So part of my feeling is that, okay, I don't think I'm going to win the island. I'm probably going to lose most of those planes. So let's take out as many of their ships as possible. Let's devastate their fleet. That's my attitude on this one. I just truly don't think we're going to take the island. I mean, there you got so many troops that are landing onto the beach. In order to destroy that destroyer, I'd have to apply 2, 4, 6, 8 hits. I can't do that. It's too much. My bombers here aren't sea-based bombers. You can see I have 1-4 on 2 of them. They're more land-oriented. And so making them go after the ships is not going to necessarily be the best in the world. So the point I'm making is I'm not going to hit those transports. So they're going to drop off all those troops. And so let's see how many battle turns this is. That might actually dictate what we do. I only rolled a 2, so it's one single battle turn. That makes it interesting. So I happen to have a battle plan that could reduce it to 0, so I could actually end the battle now and make it a stalemate. I know it seems cheesy, but I'm tempted to do that. The other thing I would do, if I didn't do that, is I would make it so my ship surface attack gets an extra hit. So as long as I hit with one of my surface attacks, I'm going to sink one of their ships, which is a juicy target, don't get me wrong. I think my planes could do some damage to theirs, but there's a part of me that's like, you know what? I'm not ready for this battle. And I think if I can just postpone it to the next round, or next turn, I can come back later with more stuff. And then maybe get them the next time, because this battleship fleet might move away. This surface fleet might move away and not, stay for this battle. And the rules don't say anything about how, it says I can move it up or down, and since there's only one turn, I could probably just end it. Bad weather, whatever the reason is. So it postpones the, the attack by a month. Hurricane season in the middle of January and February. I don't think that's possible there, but monsoons maybe? Anyways, if I did do this, what would my other 2 points be? And that's the other problem, is they don't really have a good one for helping out. I mean, I could do this one, the Seabees, and it stops a hit on an airfield. So that would keep my planes alive a little bit longer. So if I wanted to do the round, that's how I would do it. I'm really concerned that I'm going to lose my ships, but here's the deal. If they hit me, the 1 value is going to be my airfields. So the airfields will go down. I'm going to lose my planes before I would lose my ships. If we hit them, it's going to be the same deal. We're going to make them lose their planes instead of their ships. So I don't know if we will hit their ships at all. All we're going to do is hit their planes if we play this out. So this is really going to turn into a plane attrition war. And that's just plain dumb. Ha 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 ha. If I do call the battle, all those infantry are going to land and be on that island. And it is going to be that much harder to take this island later. It's definitely a large battle that's brewing. I honestly don't know what to do. Part of me feels cheap using a battle plan to just delay the battle. And gosh darn it, man, am I glad that I sent 5 cruisers here, huh? I thought for sure I was going to need the 5 cruisers just to win the battle without this fleet showing up. That's part of the reason why I want to delay the battle. I need carriers here. But what am I going to do? I mean, next turn I have to defend Midway again. It's not like I can stop them from attacking Midway. Next turn, I have to hope to get lucky and not roll a 9 or a 10 when they're up to the +10, and that has rarely happened. They've always seemed to get it at some point. How many battle plans would they get to? They would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. They would get 3 battle plans. That's bad too. I'm going to delay the battle. So sorry about all this thinking. This is actually a really tough decision. But yes, I'm going to delay the battle. So all this excitement for nothing. Sorry, I was putting all of their ships away. Putting our ships away. And their planes will successfully land, as will ours. This might be a case where I may want to save some battle plan points next turn, huh? That might be worth using the noggin for, right? I never do. I always say I will and then I never do, but that might actually be worth it. So they got quite the army here on New Guinea. So let's move on to Midway. And this one, the only special rule is that the invader may not, have airfields. So we happen to have 2 carriers and then 2 destroyers, which are going to escort those carriers. We have 2 submarines, which I'm assuming is going to go into their ocean. And then we have a destroyer and a cruiser. We are going to be landing, and we have 2 planes on the airfield. So that's the makeup of us. For them, they have carrier fleet 4. So it's going to be a transport with 1 single infantry, a battalion, and that was and then they would have 3 more, because the actual command itself says to bring 3 infantry with them. And if there's no infantry at Japan, you grab it from the battalion pool. So there are 4 infantry coming in this. And let's start grabbing their ships. So first up is a destroyer group. Then a battleship. Then a light carrier. A full-blown carrier. And a full-blown carrier. So I don't know. This might not be as even as I think. However, the best anti-air is going to go up top. And I'm just going to do what would make Japan happiest. I will put the destroyer group up here, and then the battleship comes down here. That's going to help them the most. The battleship needs to maximize its naval attack. Okay, and also it has the best depth charge. Although technically their carriers are the best depth charge, so they don't need their destroyer. I guess their destroyers weren't very good at anti-sub. Okay, let's see how many battle turns this is going to be. 6 is a healthy number. It's going to be 3 battle turns. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're going to get 2 battle plans. That's better than 4 or 3. And we get 3. So we will eventually have infantry on the field. So I could do artillery. But I think I want to do, since they have a battleship, we have a really good chance to take it out with our surface attack. So I'm going to try, although our surface attack values are very low. It could be a weak thing for us. We could try to roll an extra anti-air in case their carriers are coming at us. But that means we can't do artillery anymore. And then we can try to re-roll a torpedo roll. Since I have 2 submarines up there, I like that opportunity, so we'll try that. This is a little risky, but we'll see. All right, let's draw their... This actually feels a lot more even of a battle than I think. So the first one is that they get huge advantage to their air combat, which sucks. And their ship combat gets huge advantage as well. So their battleship now became awesome. And their anti-air roll is awesome. I don't like that at all. I did forget to grab the aircraft. So for the Japanese, the light carrier and 2 full-blown carriers. They have a dive bomber, a torpedo bomber, a 0, a 0, another 0. This is bad. A dive bomber and a torpedo bomber. They have themselves quite a lot. We're gonna have dive bomber, Wildcat, dive bomber, Wildcat, torpedo bomber, and torpedo bomber. I mean, it's not like we have chump change on our side either. It just, okay, so here's the deal. They're gonna get huge value bumps on their dogfight and on their bomb rolls. That is not fun. That means they're gonna be hitting us with a lot easier ability. And then their ship combat gives them a +3. So this battleship's gonna get a +3 to its attack roll. And then their anti-air gets a +2. So normally I would say let's go after their carriers, but I can't because the anti-air is just too powerful. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my strategy and go after their battleship with my bombers, and then we might be able to get the transport. We only have to get 4 hits on them to pull that off. And if we do that, we completely stop the invasion, and then the rest of it's just dealing with their carriers, which hopefully our subs will be able to get some hits in. So we have to survive this first wave, and the first wave is going to be a doozy because they're coming at us hard. But we move our aircraft first. And so we do have our surface ships here, which might become cannon fodder. And these fighters here, as you can see, let me zoom in for you, they have really good bombing values. So I'm going to put these 2 fighters over my my ships. And what they're going to do is they're going to basically protect these ships in the coast, and they're going to be able to bomb their battleship. So because they have a bomb value on them. And all my bombers are going in, all my carrier bombers. We're going to ignore their carrier and we're going to go after the transport. So everything I have is going after that. We're not going to bother protecting our airfield, which could be a problem because that is a viable target for them if they roll it. And the 3 to 5 is a pretty good chance they're going to roll it. My fighters need to hit and strike fast, is basically it. Now, I do have 2 other fighters here from my carrier. Now, what I could do is I could put those over the airfield to protect that, or I can put them on CAG to protect my carriers, because their bombers could actually go after my carriers, and that would be bad news for me. So which would I rather lose, the carriers or the airfield? I would rather lose the airfield. So I'm tempted to protect my carriers instead of the airfield, although these would be really nice to protect the airfield. They really, really would. But I'm going to put them on the carrier duty because I'm concerned about those bomber groups coming after my carriers. Okay, so I'm very likely going to lose that airfield. All right, so let's roll to see what their bombing group's going to do. So we're going to start with the light carrier that just has the dive bomber. So I rolled a 3, and sure enough, it's going after the airfield. So then we're going to go after the full carrier. I rolled a 5. They're going after the airfield. Then the next one is a 3. They're going after the airfield. So the airfield's going to be good and toasty. Okay, so then the first 0 is a 6. So they are going after all of our bombers and our airplanes that were from the airfield. Then the next one is a 7. They're coming after our carriers, which is an interesting one because, you know, they go anywhere there's an enemy plane or a friendly. So we did put our planes there. So they're going after our carriers. They can't hit our carriers, by the way, but they're going to try to hit our carrier fighters. And then 6, and they're going after our bombers. So interesting how that worked out. So we have all the zeros going after our planes, and all of their bombers are going after our airfield, which, given the fact that they're getting huge bonuses to their die rolls, that's probably the best outcome. Okay, so first things first is the dogfight, and this is going to be nasty. They get a +3, +2 on their dogfight. Oh, sorry, +3 on their dogfight roll, +2 on the bomb rolls. So this 8 is now a +3. So it's an 11-4. So guaranteed to hit us. So I rolled a 7, so I at least guaranteed they didn't hit us twice. So he's going to hit us once, and then we have 2 5-3s. So let's roll. And I rolled a 1, which is 2 hits. So they're going to hit one of our Wildcats once, and then we hit them twice, and we destroyed their 0, which is good. Because if we're going to go after their carrier next turn, it's nice to not have those pesky zeros around. All right, so now we're going to keep going. They have 2 11-4s against our bombers. And there's a 4, so that's 2 hits, and that's going to be 1 hit. So they hit us 3 times. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit our land planes because I know we're going to lose our airfield. So we're going to lose the land planes anyways. So our land planes have a 5-3 and a 3-2. So this will be the 5-3, and this is going to be the 3-2. The 5 hit, the 3-2 missed. So we do hit them once, and so one of their zeros takes damage, and they're going to go back home. And we're going to take 3 hits, so I'm going to go ahead and lose my 3-2, and then the 5-3 is going to take damage like that. Now remember, we get the bomb still, so that part hurts, but I'm going to lose that plane by the end of the round. Now, after the dogfight, we get to do anti-air. If our carriers were still around, we could still shoot anti-air against them, but we can't. But we can do anti-air with these 2. So I get to roll 2 3s and try to hit those zeros one more time. And I missed with both. So those zeros really do get to fly back home. All right, next, the bomb rolls. So they use their land values, which is 2, 2, and then 4, 4, 4. But we get to add +2. So it's a 4, 4, 1 hit, and then a 6, 6, 6. Their double roll did 2 more hits. So they hit 3 times against an airfield that only had 2 hit points. So they annihilated the airfield. And no, they don't hit anything else because they were just targeting the airfield. So, so they're going to potentially go back home. They should. I don't think there's anything that's going to stop them. So that's how that would look. Okay? All right. Next we move to, oh, we get to bomb them. So we have a 2 here, 3, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 4s. So let's roll the 2, 3, and 3. This will be the 2, and then the other ones are the 3s. Ooh, the 2 hit. The 3 hit. That's a really good. So we got 2 hits so far. And then we're going to do 4 4s. Come on, come on, come on. I just remembered something. We'll do that later. There's 2 hits with the 4s. And I get 1 more roll. And that's a miss. So that was 4 hits. I'm very pleased with that. I'm going to use this extra AA attack for a ship against their 0. So it was still a miss. So no good. Okay, we did 4 hits on those guys, and that's awesome because look at what happened. 1, 2 killed we just sank their battleship, and then we just sank the transport. And then all these units go bye-bye. And they're all battalions, so we'll just throw them all back in the pot. And we prevented them from taking Midway, which is good. Now we just have a sea battle against their carriers, which is awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. This plane's going to die, and this troop is going to land on the beach and eventually get into the foxholes. But we still have one more exciting part, and that is, and here's what's interesting, they don't get to do their attack. But see, neither do we. We have nothing to attack anymore. So me taking this thing isn't going to help us. But that's okay. I am very happy with this outcome. This is what was supposed to happen in the last playthrough when we were doing Hawaii. Okay, and then I'm going to take this away because this is over for them. All we have left is the 2 submarines are going to attack their carriers. So we have to roll a 2 or better. And I do have a reroll, and I will use it if I need to. So let's roll these 2 dice. And I missed with both. So let's do a reroll. And I missed with all 3. So that blows. It blows big time. I was hoping to hit, because then I could get rid of some of their planes, but that's not to be. So now they get to do their depth charges, which is going to be a 2 or better, and they miss as well. So I guess I can't complain too much. So now we go to 2 turns left. They're going to draw 2 battle plans. +3 on dogfight and bomb rolls again. I don't like it. And then stop a hit on a carrier. Oh, come on. Oh, so frustrating. Okay, I'm keeping my fighters on keg duty, just like they are. And all of my bombing planes are going after their carrier. And that's it. My ships in the coast can't do anything, but they could possibly be a target. So let's roll for their first bombing group. A 3 is the island, which is still a viable target. So they can go after our infantry that just landed on the beach. And then the next one, a 7. So they are going after our carriers. So here they are. Next one is a 1, which is their own carrier. That's not going to do anything for them. So they are going after the infantry. So our infantry is going to be probably dead. And then we have to roll for their fighter groups. I didn't mean to move this one. So let's roll for the injured one. He is going... he rolled a 1, so he's going to be protecting the carriers. He's on CAG duty. The next one, I rolled a 6. He would go after these guys, but there's nothing to hit, so then he's going to move up to a 7. So yes, he does come down to help out against our carriers. So that's the situation there. So their carriers get to stop a hit, which stinks. So now I got to hit 3 times just to sink 1 carrier. I am a little blessed that their bombers with all the extra bomb values is going after our infantry. I mean, it sucks to lose the infantry, but I can replace the infantry. I can't replace anything else. So let's play this out. Dogfights first. They get huge bonuses to their dogfight value. So their 8-4 is now an 11-4. And I rolled a 2, so they're doing 2 hits against us. I have a 5-3. And a 3-2. So this one will be the 3-2, and the other one's the 5-3. 3-2, 5-3, both missed. So they did 2 hits to us, so I'm going to just destroy one of my ships, or one of my planes. I'm not happy about that. Now, way up there on carrier land, he has a 4-2, which now became a 7-2. So let's roll. He rolled a 4, so he hit us once. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit our torpedo bomber. So he's wounded. Okay, now we do anti-air. So let's start with us. We have 2 3s and a 4-2 and a 2-1. So let's do the 2 3s first. Misses. And then the 4-2 and the 2-1, okay? Come on, we got a hit. The 4-2 hit, and that hit for 2 damage. So it's a double hit. Unfortunately, all that did was kill the 0, because the 0 has a bracket of 1, and their bombers have a bracket of 2. But we did get the pesky 0 out of the way, and their bombers are going to get to come at us unfettered, and I am a little concerned. Now let's roll for them. They have a 2 for their destroyer group, and then a 2-1, a 4-2, and a 4-2. Okay, so let's roll for their 2. Miss. Their 2-1 is a hit for 2 hits. Freaking frick. And then a 4-2, 4-2. 2 more hits. So they just hit us for 4 hits. So torpedo destroyed, dive bomber injured. This is just like the real Midway. Holy cow. All right. So now the bombers get to actually bomb. So let's do the land one first. They have a 4, 4, and 2, but they get to add +2 to all their bomb rolls. So that's a 6, 6, and 4. This one will be the 4. That's a 7. That's an 8. That's a hit. So 1 hit. I will take that. So I took 1 hit. Here they have a 6 and a 4, which becomes an 8 and a 6. This will be the 6. This is the 8. That's a 9 and a 3. So 1 hit on us. So the Lexington takes a hit. We're going to lose all of our planes for the Lexington, which isn't as much as you might think, but we're definitely going to lose planes. So now let's make them lose planes, dang it. So we have a 4, 4, 4, and a 2. So 3 4s and a 2. Let's roll the 2. I hit with a 2. So our hit is going to cancel this. So now we have 3 4s. Come on, we just need 1 hit. I got 1 hit, 2 misses. So we finally hit one of them, and they all have a 1 in their brackets. So we can hit the full-size carrier and flip that over. So they're going to lose some planes too. And this is getting to be a pretty even battle so far. Next up is the torpedoes. So we have 2 of them. Let's hit with one of them. There's a 2. And there's a 6. So I missed with one, I hit with the other. So we're going to hit the other carrier. Oh, no, that's not how it works. We actually sink the carrier. That's even better. So carrier down. Scratch 1 flat top, right? Okay, so now we're at the end. Our infantry moves into the foxhole. We have to destroy 2 of our dive bombers. One was already injured because they can't land. And then they're going to land 1 dive bomber, 1 torpedo and a dive bomber, and a 0. But the other dive bomber and torpedo bomber is gone. So we got 2 of their planes eliminated as well. Oh, I forgot to do the depth charges. So it's a 2 and a 1. The blue die will be the 1. And they're both misses, so we're good there. Okay, we go to the last turn. This air combat thing stunk. All right, we got 1, and I'm trying to get something different this time. We got artillery. Yay, that's useless for them. And carrier attack. All bombers roll a 10. So they're going after my carrier. And it's going to be this group right here. For sure. Because it's the full-size carrier. Okay, so we know for sure those are coming at us. I still got to roll for this one. or no, it says all bombers. So all of them are coming. So now we roll for their 0. What are they going to do? He's a 7, so the 0 is coming with them. Okay, I wasn't supposed to know that the 0 was coming, but this course was going to help the carriers. There's no reason not to. These two are going after their carriers. No reason not to. And the good news is our infantry is going to survive this. I'm a little concerned we're going to not be able to hit their carrier, but let's do Dogfight. So they have a 4-2. They get a 3, so they're going to destroy our fighter. We have a 3-2. We miss. So our fighter's down. And now we do anti-air. And we're going to get a 3-3 for our destroyers. That's a hit, so 1 hit. And then I have a 1-0. Oh man, that would have been a really nice one. 4-2, and it's a miss. Dang it, if I would have had that with the 4-2, we would have gotten 2 hits. So we only got 1 hit, and all that does is take out their 0. So they're gonna get unfettered access. So now they get to roll a 2, a 2-1, and a 4-2. Here's the 2, here's the 2-1. Oh, they rolled a 3. And then here's the 4-2. Okay, all 3 misses. So that makes up for our bad luck. And now let's roll for their attacks. They get a 6-4-4. This one will be the 6. We got a 3-1-3, so that's 3 hits on us. We're losing a carrier, folks. So 1, 2, 3. We're losing both of our carriers. Oh my gosh. They just sank 2 of our carriers. Such bad news. We were doing so well. Okay, let's hit them. Here's 2 4s. Come on. There's a 2. We got 1 hit. All right, so their full-size carrier takes a damage. And we don't need these anymore. So now let's do the torpedoes. Come on, finish off that carrier. Finish off that carrier. And there it is. There's a 1. So we do. We exchanged blows. We lost 2 full-size carriers, and so did they. I don't feel very good about that, but that's what happened. Okay, they do get to roll depth charges, which is at 2 and a 1. The blue will be the 1. They missed, so that part's good. And that's it. There shouldn't be anything else. There's no more turns left. And we did successfully hold Midway, but at what a price. I mean, we took a price on them too, I guess, but that was definitely for a price. So carrier fleet 4 is down to 1 carrier and 1 destroyer. So what used to be one of their big is now down to that. And remember, we replenish the transport when they move from the location. So Midway Island does stay in our control, which is good. We at least get a moral victory out of it. But yeah, we exchanged our carriers here, and we lost the Enterprise and the Lexington. The Enterprise, of course, was the most badass carrier in World War II. So we're not getting a thematic victory here. But that's it. A turn's over. So let's roll for the Japanese reinforcements. I rolled a 3 plus 13 is a 16, and then we have to subtract 1 for every damaged unit they have, which is 0. I don't see any damaged units for them. So 16 means they get 3 ships, 2 infantry, and 2 planes. So 1, 2, 3 ships, 2 infantry go to Japan, 2 planes go to Japan, and then of the 3 ships, that replaces one of their carriers, that replaces the other carrier, and then this is an additional carrier. So their carrier fleet 4 is back to full strength, almost. They're still missing their battleship, and this carrier is going to go into carrier fleet 1. So we did all that work and they just replaced it. So a lot more work to do, Scooby-Doo. And next thing we do is the Japanese repair, which there isn't any. Then we do a supply check, and our supplies are fine. And our defeat check passes as well. So we move on to March, April. So we're moving on to March, April. And here, 2 of our production is delayed, but 1 gets to go through. So we'll push 1 through. And here 2 is delayed, and I'm going to do that scenario there, like I did last time. This guy goes into the Western United States, and our, I forgot, these guys are now reporting to duty, which does include 2 carriers. The only 2 carriers we have. These guys are being refitted and repaired. Minus 2 carriers. What did I do with the 2 carriers that got destroyed? Where did I put them? Yeah, I put them off. Okay. Now here's the good news. In 1943, if you lost a carrier that was still historically alive, there's going to be a 1943 token for that carrier. You can rebuild it. So it's sort of like, was it the, I think it was the Lexington, got damaged really bad, and then they were able to repair it, and it came back and helped us, turn the tide. It's that kind of scenario. So the Enterprise for sure existed in 43. I'm pretty sure the Lexington did. I think it was, so which one sank? Was it the Lexington or the Yorktown? It was one of the 2. Gosh darn it. I want to say the Lexington, well, one of them sank, and then the other one almost sank, and then they turned it around and it became badass for the rest of the war. I don't remember which one's which, but when we get the 1943 token, we're going to know. So actually, the curiosity is killing me, so let me check. Yeah, it's the Lexington, because right here, Lexington 2 is in the 43 tokens. Well, and there's Yorktown 2, so I guess they both came back. Saratoga, there's the Enterprise, so we'll get that one back, and in fact, that's a lot stronger. And then Bunker Hill and Essex, which was also a pretty good carrier. So which one sank? Was it the Hornet or the Wasp? Oh gosh, I'm feeling like so inept with my history. It was the Coral Sea that it sank, our carrier. And then the other one got damaged really bad, and I don't know, they allegedly fixed it within a couple days, or a month or something like that. But anyways, you get the idea. And it is late at night. I am not at my sharpest wits when it's late at night like this. So it's probably not smart to be recording videos late at night playing a game. But as most of you can probably relate, this is the only time I can find time to play. So, okay, so we move on. Oh, we get 20 points of supply points. So let's grab 20 points and figure out what we're going to do. Well, I can tell you right away, we're going to spend 7 of those points to finish this. So we had 8 there, we need 7 more, so that's finished. So I'm going to take this 3 and put it there and replace the 10. So we have 13 points left. I need 1 point to repair the infantry that's on Midway Island. So this 3 is now a 2. I'm going to save these 2 points because I know we have a huge battle in New Guinea and we need to do that battle. So we're going to save that for battle plan points. For this 10, we need to get our carriers replaced pronto. So Hornet and Wasp are going onto the production queue. I have to get those going. Unfortunately, that's all my supply points. I really wanted to do a whole bunch more, but that was all I could do. Boy, you've just, well, those carriers cost so much. It's a one-time cost. Now that I paid the price, they're gonna get built. And yeah, it's such a huge cost to get those carriers going. But since we lost 2, we gotta get it going. It's gonna take us 4 turns before they're produced. And remember, we're still delaying 1 production line. Now, what I could have done is spent 11 points to make the production line less delayed, but we spent it on the carriers. Well, you know what? Only one of those carriers is going to move. So, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it, Steve. Oh, I'm going to keep the carriers off. We're going to put 10 points towards the next morale. We got to get the adjustments, we got to get the delays stopped. So that way when I do pay for 2 carriers, they're going to both be built. Right now, if I spend 10 points for 2 carriers, only one of them is going to progress next turn. So anyways, it's a crapshoot. I'm down 2 carriers. There's nothing I can say or do about it. So let's figure it out. Let's make it work. So Midway is still their target. There's no getting around that. We have 1 extra infantry we can do something with, and that's it. I'm not going to pay for scouting. I'm saving those 2 for the extra battle plan points. I would love to send an infantry to help New Guinea. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send another plane to New Guinea here. So we're definitely contributing to the plane war. I'm actually hoping this battleship fleet leaves. So that's one of the things I'm gambling on. And so the West Coast Infantry, where's he gonna go? What's he gonna do when they come for you? I'm tempted to send him to Midway, so we can have some stronger defense at Midway. We can't lose Midway. I'm also tempted to send him to New Guinea, of course. I'm sending him to Midway. Can't lose Midway. I can afford to lose New Guinea, even though that would be a big loss. Okay, so what else are we doing with our movement? We have a fighter stuck here in Samoa. We lost both of our planes in Midway. We haven't replaced them, so we're going to be short some planes there. Let's figure out our ship situation. Here's our cruisers. We have 4 of them. We have 2 carriers, which are going to stay in Midway again. 2 destroyers are going to stay in Midway, and the 2 subs are going to stay in Midway. And all the cruisers are going to go help with New Guinea. And the only thing I'm hoping for is that their battleship fleet will retreat. That's a big thing to hope for. But I am low on ships, and I can't produce new ones, and even if I do, it's going to take pretty much the rest of the year to get them. And I think this was the situation in 1942. I don't think the U.S. was able to do much. You know, they basically did the Coral Sea thing where they actually lost 2 carriers, although they did repair one of them. Okay, Japan's up. And as you can see, there's a lot of places where they can't go. So the resupply is back at 0. First thing is going to happen is Okinawa. We're going to decide what happens there. I rolled a 9. They're going to withdraw. 1 closer to Japan. And I think because they're 1 away from Japan, this turns into a hold. So give me a second. Yeah, they do a hold order instead. So it goes to hold and then +4 to the resupply. So that's going to be the case for both chips in Okinawa. So they're both done. Okay, next lowest is either the Caroline Islands. Actually, no, it's Midway, the Carrier Fleet 4. So let's roll for them. Roll to 1, they're holding. So Carrier Fleet 4 is staying for another battle. And this becomes a 12, or 8, I mean. Next, Carrier Fleet 3 is a 6 + 5 is 11. They're going to support Japanese forces ashore, except East Asia and Japan. And support is going backwards. That's the weird thing about support. You would always think they're going forwards, but they're going backwards. Support. Move one area closer to the Japan area. So I said this was Carrier Fleet 3. Oh, they can't go to Japan, so that becomes a hold order. So now they're adding 4. There we go. Midway's coming. This one is Surface Fleet 1. I rolled a 5 + 10. It's a 15. They're going to reinforce an objective with Japanese forces ashore. That's either going to be the Gilbert Islands or New Guinea. So New Guinea's going to be even, and they rolled even. So Surface Fleet 1 just moved to New Guinea's area and joined in on the fun. And they bring with them 1 infantry. So 1 infantry is going to be on a transport. So New Guinea's getting to be a bad situation. All right, next is going to be this Battleship Fleet 1, the one that we hoped was going to go away. Now it looks like they might stay. I rolled a 3 + a 10 is 13. They're moving east, 1 closer to Hawaii. That has Japanese forces ashore. Well, the good news is that does exist. So Battleship Fleet 1 is moving to the Caroline Islands, and they're going to get these 2 infantry into because their transports were empty, and they're going to take 2 from the battalion pool. They're not going to land on the island, but that's what they're doing. They're on the transport. Actually, they do land, don't they? Because they're reinforcing. Oh no, they're just moving east. They're not reinforcing. Sorry. Okay, so Battleship Fleet 1 is done. So we did get our goal. Battleship Fleet 1 moved away, but then Surface Fleet 1 replaced them. And Surface Fleet 1 is not any more fun than Battleship Fleet 1 was. So this is still a very crappy situation. All right, so now we're going to do East Asia. There it is. There's the 10. We got the offensive. East Asia is going with 3 infantry. So this is Carrier Fleet 1 is joining Carrier Fleet 4 along with 3rd Infantry and then 2 more battalions from the pool. And that's not to mention whatever they're carrying on them. Carrier Fleet 4 didn't move, so it's still empty of transports, but Carrier Fleet 1, for example, has 2 more. So they're landing with quite a lot of troops. Okay, they do subtract 8 from their die roll. So now we move to the Philippines. That's a 6 + 2 is 8. They're going to withdraw 1 closer to Japan, but that becomes a hold order. So that's not good. But the Philippines is done. Now we're on Borneo. That's a 10 plus a 5 is 15. They're going to reinforce an objective, so New Guinea is even. I rolled an odd. So reinforce is 1 infantry and 3 land-based aircraft. So first, Surface Fleet 2 is going to take 1 infantry and both aircraft, and they're going to the Gilbert Islands, is what's happening here. Surface Fleet 2 goes there, and their transport's empty, and it's a reinforce. It says, now remember, whenever they control the area, we're doing orders for what's here. So I am going to take the infantry from here in this case, because that's how the order works. So these two go with them, and I'm just landing them. I'm not putting them on transports because there's no actual battle at that location. I still have to roll again because I have 1 more infantry here. So you always roll for orders until everybody's moved. So 4 is plus 5 is 9. That's a withdrawal, so they're going to go 1 closer to Japan. So this infantry is going to just come back and join them here. So Borneo is a little light at the moment. And then last but not least is Japan itself. This would have moved up by 1. Japan rolled a 6, plus 5 is 11. They're going to support. They can't do that, so they're doing a hold, which means this goes up to 13. So Carrier Fleet 3, and 3 of the planes are staying here. Okay. And now we roll for the last Carrier Fleet. It's an 8 plus 10. We get an 18. It's a sortie, which does reduce this by 4. They go to a U.S. held objective other than Hawaii and Alaska. So there's a lot of choices here. 3, 6, no, 2, 4, 6, and then Midway's 8. That is 2, 4, that's Midway. Holy crap. So they're going to Midway, Carrier Fleet 2, but they can't bring the planes with them, and if they can't come, they just go to Japan. So 2 of the planes stay in Japan, and I have to actually roll 1 more order for that final plane. I got an 8 plus 5 is 13. That plane is moving east, so he's going to go there. All right, so that's our situation. This Gilbert Islands got reinforced a bit. And so we're just taking these away. The big battle, of course, is here. And then a battle that got bigger than I think I even hoped for is Midway. So there's only 2 battles to resolve. And I'm at 1 hour and 13, so I'm going to say thanks for watching and stay awesome. And we'll see you at the next video.